Saint Peter, born Shimon bar Yonah, died AD 64 to 68. Also referred to as Peter the Apostle, Simon Peter, Simeon, Simon, or Cephas, was a prominent member of the 12 Apostles of Jesus and a foundational leader of the early Christian church. He features extensively in all 4 New Testament Gospels and the Acts of the Apostles. According to Catholic tradition, he is recognized as the inaugural Bishop of Rome, regarded as the first Pope, and the initial Bishop of Antioch. Names and etymologies. The New Testament identifies Peter's birth name as Simon, Greek, Simon. In 2 instances, the alternate spelling Simeon, Greek, appears. This variation may reflect a Jewish practice of pairing Hebrew patriarch names, e.g. Simeon, with similar-sounding Greco-Roman names, e.g. Simon. Jesus later bestowed upon him the Aramaic name Cephas, Kepha, meaning rock or stone. In Greek translations, this becomes Petros, yielding the English Peter. While Cephas appears 9 times in the New Testament, Peter is far more frequent. Scholars debate the nuances of Kepha. Some emphasize rock or crag, others stone, one possibly connoting a jewel. Most agree it metaphorically signifies a resilient character. Dictionaries of Aramaic and Syriac acknowledge both meanings. Catholic theologian Rudolf Pesch posits precious stone as a symbolic designation, though linguistic evidence for this usage remains scant. The compound name Simon Petros, occurs 19 times in the New Testament. Syriac texts occasionally render him Simon Cephas. Biographical details. Peter, a Jewish fisherman from Bethsaida, was the son of Jonah. The Synoptic Gospels mention Jesus healing Peter's mother-in-law in Capernaum, implying Peter was married or widowed. 1 Corinthians 9:5 further supports his marital status. Partnered with his brother Andrew and Zebedee's sons James and John, Peter worked as a fisherman. In Matthew and Mark, Jesus calls them to become fishers of men. John's Gospel recounts a post-resurrection fishing miracle, catch of 153 fish, involving Peter. At Caesarea Philippi, Peter declares Jesus the Messiah, earning the name Cephas, Mark 8:29, Matt 16-17, Luke 9:20. Luke highlights Peter's boat as Jesus' preaching platform, while John describes Andrew introducing Peter to Jesus as the Messiah. Key biblical events: walking on water. Peter briefly walks on water before faltering in faith, Matt 14:28-31. Last. Supper. Peter initially resists Jesus washing his feet, but later requests full cleansing, John 13:6-9. Arrest of Jesus. Peter severs the ear of high priest servant Malchus, later healed by Jesus, Luke 22:50-51. John 18:10. Denial and restoration. Peter denies Jesus thrice but is later reinstated as a leader, John 21:15-17. Leadership and missions. Peter emerged as a central figure in the early church, despite being briefly eclipsed by James the Just. He defended Christianity before the Sanhedrin, undertook missions to Lydda, Joppa, and Caesarea, and received a vision sanctioning Gentile inclusion. His confrontation with Paul in Antioch, Galata 2:11-14, underscores early theological tensions. Imprisoned under Agrippa Faster in Acts 12, Peter was miraculously freed and fled to an unspecified location. His later activities remain sparsely documented. Family. Life. Though the Gospels note Peter's mother-in-law, his wife's fate is unclear. Clement of Alexandria claims she was martyred, while others suggest she predeceased Jesus. Resurrection and legacy. Paul cites Peter as the first witness to the resurrected Christ, 1 Corinthians 15:5, a tradition not fully echoed in the Gospels. Post-resurrection, Jesus reaffirms Peter's leadership, John 21:15-17, symbolized by the Church of the primacy of St. Peter in Galilee. Death and veneration. Tradition holds Peter was crucified under Nero in Rome. Venerated as founder of the Roman and Antiochene churches, his successor's authority varies among Christian denominations. Catholic doctrine emphasizes Jesus' promise of Peter's unique ecclesiastical role. While 1 and 2 Peter bear his name, most scholars reject direct authorship. His papacy is traditionally dated AD 30 to 33, 64, 68, potentially the longest reign, though unverified.